I'd be lying if I said nscale wasn't becoming that of a guilty pleasure recently. I mean, yeah, we've talked about it a few times before. Hell, I've even made a few micro layouts, but it's been a while since we've dived into both, and ladies and gentlemen, I think it's high time we changed that. Especially seeing as Bachmann is making arguably one of the best Thomas lines ever in nscale. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about or what's probably the most boring part, the box. And as you can see here, Bachmann did pretty damn well with the presentation we have for this thing. We have a good picture there of the nscale Thomas with Annie and Clarabel behind him. We have a picture of the CGI Thomas and little windows which show you not only the engine, but again, Annie and Clarabel, we can see the track and the Bachmann speed controller. We've got the Bachmann logo there in the corner, a bit of a blue border. But again, it's just a box. There's really not a lot to it. The top says Thomas with Annie and Clarabel, says it's a electric train set. The side shows you, again, Thomas, Annie, Clarabel, everything you get in the set, and the back shows you everything once it's all assembled. It also has a little description, which reads, Thomas and his loyal coaches, Annie and Clarabel, are carrying a number of very important passengers, and you're invited to join in their adventures. This electric train set is the perfect way to begin your nscale Thomas and Friends collection, and I can't lie, the entire nscale range from Bachmann is becoming that of a guilty pleasure for me, which is kind of why this is now in my possession. Let's see, the other side shows you, or tells you a bit about the track. It shows you the circle once it's completed, how to put it together, and again, a little bit of information about the controller, but not a whole lot there. The bottom is where you find the copyright and boring stuff. Yeah, it's just a standard Bachmann box, let's be honest here. But does it look good? For sure. It definitely caught my eye in the model store. And we don't just have that to talk about today. We also have nscale Scruff, which these boxes are probably some of the most simple you can find in all of model railroading. It's what you see here. This little plastic or transparent case. It says Bachmann there at the top, if you can even see that. The back is where you find the boring stuff like the copyright information and a little picture of Thomas, James, and Percy. Yeah, and these sides let you know what it is. S.C.Ruffy, there's the item number, and a very large window to show you the model. Comes apart exactly like this. There you go, and just move this little plastic thing. You know, we'll get to that here in a second. Unboxing comes later, but again, very simple. The other side just says nscale Thomas and Friends. Yeah, that's those are the boxes. Hopefully that wasn't too much lingering. I kind of want to play with this train set. Now, truth be told, I'm a little tore here. We're still going to open this and take a look at everything, but I really have no use for this Bachmann Easy Track. When it comes to nscale, I am a Kato dude, so not sure what will become of these two things. We'll probably still put them together, but I kind of want to get to Thomas and Annie and Clarabel. And I know we've talked about Thomas before in the past, but I've never seen the Annie and Clarabel in person, or seen them all together. So again, there's quite a bit of excitement for this video, and I, for one, am ready to crack into this thing. Look how small this, for an entire train set, this is a small, but I think it's kind of cute. This is one of the reasons I love nscale so much. Everything's adorable, and a pain if you drop it or lose it, but that's another subject for another day. All right, I think it's time we finally unbox these things though. So let's go ahead and start with that. We've got little tabs here on the side, thankfully no tape or anything like that. We can just pull this right up here. Alrighty, and looks like we've just got one big old tray here. Anything else in the box? No. Alrighty, and a very large instruction booklet, or yeah, we don't need that. Here's the set though. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see here, we have the entire set now out of the box, and here at the top we have some curved track. At the bottom we have some more curved track and the terminal piece. We have the controller right next to that and the wires for the controller, and really the things that I got this set for. There's Thomas and Annie and Clarabel, and I'm thinking there's gonna be quite a bit to say about all of these. I'm hopefully not gonna, spend too much time on Thomas. He has his own video already. Annie and Clarabel, however, this is my first time ever seeing these, so let's go ahead and get this part off as well. Again, I'm probably not going to use this track very much, or I don't really have a proper use for it, but I'll at least put it together to show you guys how big it is and all that shit. All right, move those out of the way here. And again, let's get to Thomas and his loyal coaches, shall we? All right, let's pull him out of here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fresh, crisp N-scale Thomas. I love these things so much. This is just such a good little model. It looks so accurate. It is just so good all around. They've got so much detail on such a small little thing here. And it even has a good face. I mean, it could be better. It's not like it's a model series accurate face, which is my favorite, but it's still damn good. I can't lie. I love these things. In my opinion, it arguably rivals the G-scale Thomas, but enough about that. We'll set him to the side. And here are Annie and Claire. Well, here's Annie first. A little interestingly, and I saw this on the box, and it's a little weird, she has a smile, which really isn't that big of a deal. You know, it's not like Annie doesn't smile, but on most merch, she has that shocked or sad-ish surprised face. She's smiling on this one. A little weird, not gonna lie. There's also some pretty bad molding there on the roof, as you can see, but thankfully that does appear only to be on one side. Putting that to the side, I do have to say, this is a pretty nice little coach. I do like that they went ahead and gave her red buffers. We don't have a full hook, which I don't think we really need since this is N-scale, but there is a little bit of a mold there, or, you know, detailing like there would be a hook, and that is on both sides. A little bit of gold there for the door handles as well. It looks pretty damn good, I can't lie. I do really like this thing, but it is very light. I might put some weight in this thing just to make rolling a little bit better. All right, so there is Annie, and let's take a look at Clarabel as well. And what? I think they have the exact same face. I could be, no, that is the exact same face on both of these. I can't say that's something I'm for. You know, that kind of sucks. Even Tommy and Trackmaster gave these two different faces, but it's fine. It is what it is. I guess keep that in mind if these are models you want. Thankfully, the molding for the roof piece here is a lot better on Clarabel. Same thing, the lettering is really nice. We've got the red buffers and hook detailing. I just kind of hate that they have the exact same expression. I mean, for Clarabel, this makes sense. This is what she should have, but Annie has the exact same thing. The only thing that's different is the lettering on the side. I mean, perfect if you want to make branch line coaches, but that, again, kind of sucks. And also on Clarabel, she does have that back window and is missing the little auto drive compartment she would typically have, or should have. But that's pretty much the long and short of these coaches. They're pretty solid. They look pretty good aesthetically. Sadly, again, same face, but they definitely take it a step further than the HO scale variants, or 00 scale variants. But at that same time, you know, in regards to the faces, kind of take it a step back. So you get some, you lose some. That's, I guess, just the name of the game. And again, that's pretty much all there is in the box. We've got a standard Bachmann controller here. We've got the wiring for, you know, powering that controller and the track, but that's really it. Is there anything here on the back side? No, it's just that stuff left. Okay. So yeah, in terms of the Thomas, Annie, and Clarabel set, that's pretty much everything you're looking at. Not only Thomas, Annie, and Clarabel, but quite a bit of track as well, if that's something you're in need of. Again, probably not something I'm going to use too much. I already have a little track set up with Kato, but there is that. You know, this may just be me, but I kind of feel like Annie and Clarabel scale a little bit largely to Thomas. Like, they just feel a little massive next to him, or, you know, when he's pulling them, or they're in a unit. I don't know. That could just be me, but Thomas feels a little bit small when compared to them. And again, I won't harp on Thomas for too long, but I just have to say, this is such a nice little model. The lining on this is phenomenal. They got that little bit of extra black paint there on the splasher, or above the splasher. The face looks pretty damn good. The lamp is more accurate than the HO scale one, and it's micro. No rear bunker lining, but to be fair, I don't think Thomas really needs that. That's just kind of a nitpicky thing, and same thing with the CGI styled face. This is a beautiful little model, and again, Annie and Clarabel are pretty much the same. They just have little things about them that I wish were different, namely the face on both. That's really it. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't just have Thomas and his coaches to talk about today. I figured Thomas needed a little something else to pull, and that is what S.C.Ruffy is going to come in and help us with as well. Okay, so kind of like I was saying earlier for these bits of packaging, it's very, very simple. Just take this top layer off like so. slide that off like that. And then there's one more above the wagon itself. And there you go. Now we've got a Scruffy. All right, get this out of the way. This is pretty much the exact same thing as the G-scale Scruffy, but they've made it tiny, and I think that is so freaking cool. Like, look at the lettering on this thing. It's somehow all legible when it's this size. S.C.Ruffy and Co. Ballast Contractors, Tidmouth, Sodor. That's pretty cool, and the face, again, looks spot on. Now, just like Annie and Clarabel, we do have a little bit of hook molding there at the bottom or between the buffers. And this is just a phenomenal little dude. And while there's really not much to say because it's S.C.Ruffy, he's just a rusting, troublesome truck with a unique face. They did nail it. The face is 100% accurate. The lettering looks really damn good. The only thing they could have done, I think, a little bit better is weather him so you don't have to. And I don't even know if that's something you really have to do. Now, this isn't too big of a deal, but I do think it would be pretty neat if Bachmann started making loads for these things. Like, imagine if he already had a ballast load inside of him. Thankfully, from the 00 scale layout, I have a little bit extra, so when we do get to running these things, I'll probably put a little bit of a load inside of them. But again, just little stuff like that I think could have improved the model, but you don't really need to do much. They kind of knocked it out of the park already. I mean, we've even got the extra brown detailing on the body itself, which is something the, again, HO scale model just doesn't have. So this is pretty neat. The only real criticism I think I have, again, is that it's pretty dang light. It still rolls very well, as you can see, but I just wish it had a bit more weight, and that is something I can fix pretty easily. Improve running a little bit, but yeah, there is the nscale S.C.Ruffy. If I can, I hope to get a couple more of these, and maybe just have a whole rake of them, which would not make sense, but whatever. I love these things. It is what it is. And how does he scale to Tom? You know, I just feel like that makes a little bit more sense than Annie and Clarabel. Like, that looks, I know you can't really tell from this angle, but this looks a little bit more like scale accurate. Annie and Clarabel to me just feel so large, and that could just be me, but be sure to comment down below if you can see what I'm saying, or if that's something you've ever noticed. I could just be going crazy, though. I didn't mean to do that. Thankfully, it was not these, though, so it could have been worse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so now that we've taken a look at all of these things, gotten everything unboxed, I think I'll go ahead and set up this track just to show you how large the radius itself is, if this is a set you're interested in. But again, we're probably just going to take this to the in-process micro layout. So let's just get on that. All right, so again, I'm really not planning to use this stuff very much, but we'll put it together really quick and see at least how large the radius is. You gonna help me? Looks like I got some help today too. You know, I can't lie, I'm not a huge fan of the Bachmann Easy Track, but it does go together pretty easily, as you can see there. It's not the worst stuff in the world. I just think Kato looks better, you know, and that's just my preference. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, you've got a completed little loop, which, truth be told, that's pretty sizable. I mean, it's not the biggest track in the world, but you could probably run a pretty good amount of engines on this, and the radius would be fine. That's pretty cool. And again, for the size, that's not too bad of a radius. I just prefer the compact stuff, since, you know, it's in scale. I like putting it in smaller areas anyway. So yeah, there is that, but again, we're probably not going to use this too much. Let's go ahead and take this to the Kato compact layout. Oh yeah, we also did just a little bit of work to the Thomas, as you can see here. He finally has a matte finish and a model series face, which sadly is the sad one, but it is all I had on hand at the moment. Now, this was beautifully printed by Trainstorm and designed by Rexecutions, and painted by myself, and I really think ties this model together. Like, that is a very accurate looking Thomas just as is. Oh, I also added a little bit of red paint on the back lamp, so there is that too. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are with Thomas and everything. Let's go ahead and get this little dude in action.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.